Hey, you still owe me
explain it.
that money for getting scammed by card. Are you gonna pay me that back?
Fuck no, come get it in blood.
You act as if you don't stay up this time all the time. Come on.
Yeah, I can talk to you. You ruined my life, you Australian. Right now it is 9:40. 9:40 in the morning. I haven't slept. Almost been 24 hours. I woke up at like 1 p.m.
Dude, look at your room.
This is not my room. This is Convi's room. This is not my room.
Wait, you staying with Combi right now?
Yeah, I sleep with him. We sleep in the same bed.
Hey, fair enough, fair enough. Hey, man, it's awesome to see you. I haven't seen your face in like a long time.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm trying to get live and there's stuff happening in the back end. We gotta fix. We gotta make right. I'm ready though, man. 2025 is my year.
It's been a couple of months, right?
It's been a couple months, but we're gonna see something special hopefully the next few days.
If you had to rank, like in terms of kind of like what you got planned upcoming these next weeks, like where's it sit? Because you've done some pretty insane comebacks. Is it up there?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think you know what stream I'm talking about. I think that one is gonna be a fun. I think that's probably gonna be one of the biggest I've ever done. My first boxing event is gonna be in January. Finally got that shit back, and I just gotta get live, bro. We gotta get live. We gotta figure this out, and I'm ready, bro. Hey, bro. Look. Kick is down right now. We gotta pick it back up. We gotta fix this shit. We gotta change everything, bro. Come on, we gotta get started with that.
What are we doing first, man? What are we doing first?
I got questions for you guys that I came up with. All right.
Hey,
I'm for the people.
I tell you what. I've got a few real easy ones. Then I'll let you. You can go all at me. How's that sound?
Let's go.
We've got so much to talk about, but I got to ask you one thing. I got to ask you the other thing. Obviously, I saw like all these people talking about their kind of rush, their Mount Rushmore for like streamers and stuff, right? And I saw like X gave you like a shout out. I saw, to be fair, like everyone gave you a pretty honest shout out, which was really great to see. I don't know if you've answered this question already. Excuse me if you had, but who's your for? Who's your rush Mount Worth for streaming?
I'm gonna say Adin, Speed, Kai, and probably Ninja.
Thought he was gonna go Adin.
I think, but if I were to have a fifth, I'd have to put XQC in there. Like I'd have to. He's like, in my opinion, he's like the best fundamental streamer of all time that we've ever had. I actually saw someone in your chat type that, and I want to actually make that known. Rice Gum is the real fucking GOAT. Like Rice Gum walked so everyone could run. Like, and I give him my flowers all the time and let him know how important he is for the entertainment space. He took that shit to the next level, and that made other people like finally want to start doing what he was doing.
Would you say that Rice was like a huge inspiration for you when you came into the game?
Yeah, and you know when I moved in with him back in 2021, a few years back, he would constantly give me input and advice on like what to do in certain situations and kind of guide me through the bad times and the good times. And
hey,
he's a genius.
That 2021 era, right? Like you were in Los Angeles, right? Where you were in that house that had like the green curtain background. Like what is that up there in one of your most memorable eras or?
Oh, for sure. I don't think that's personally my best, but I definitely want to say that's one of probably like my top three. Look, bro, I have many more years left. I just gotta figure this shit out. We gotta just stay consistent. I don't want to be able to take breaks consistently where it's like fucking with the year, but it all comes down to a certain factors that I know for sure I need to cut out completely in order for me to be mentally stable for the entire year. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Was it Dana White? I think it was Dana White mentioning your name. Like, where does that rank? That was pretty fucking sick, right? Like, you've got like a new president being announced, and you know your name's kind of alongside it as being kind of a part of that decision. Like, how did that feel? Like when you're watching that, like what was your reaction? Like that would have been like pretty crazy, right?
I think just seeing my parents be proud the most was probably like the biggest the warmest feeling I felt probably from that moment, because that was huge. It was running it back at the White House when after he's in there. So that's gonna be fucking sick too. A lot of cool shit can come out of that as well.
There was that photo that came out quite recently as well. Not long after that, it was like you, Trump, Dana White, and Elon Musk at the UFC, right? Like. Well, that was only like a few days later. Like you must have felt pretty. You're quite well connected at that point. Like you've taken streaming to another level.
Yeah, it is. It was a great moment. Again, with my dad, I go to every UFC with my dad. It was a great moment, great father and son moment for us. I shook Elon's hand. I never told this story. I shook Elon's hand, and Elon is just, his mind is like spacing. Like I feel like he's so smart. All his thoughts are just bouncing off of like a thought, and you could see it. So when I was like this close to Elon, I'm like, oh my God. He smiled at me. He shook my hand. You know, we have a lot of mutuals, him and I. So maybe one day me and Elon could do something really cool. I would love to. I think he's the man for the future. He wants to save the world, and I really love Elon Musk. I also think he saved the election too.
Man, the craziest thing is
Awesome guy.
all this has happened since you last went live.
Yeah, I haven't been live in a minute. Missing it, bro. Going crazy. I want to go live. I have so much energy. I need to burst out and get back and all this stuff, bro. So I'm eager, man. I want to get live quick. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it leads me to this question that, I think we discussed quite a bit back then with a few people on that call. Why does a place like Kick exist, in your opinion? Why should a place like Kick exist?
Well, look, and I'm gonna be honest, and this is kind of what I want to talk to you both about, because I feel like Kick, when it first came, obviously the motivation behind it was obviously the steak ban, but now it turned into something way more than that, and everyone knows it's real. I think basically when you have competition against the number one, like for example, Twitch is like the Nike of this shit. If you have competition with that, it kind of lights a fire under Twitch's ass and it lights a fire under Kick's ass to make both platforms better. So that's what I think it does. It makes the space bigger, it makes the space better, and it can potentially make everything way bigger together. Like, since Kick is a thing, it made Twitch better. You know what I mean? There's already things that people can call out that what Kick has done. It made Twitch have to basically react and do their own changes. Recently, I don't think what I just said. I think we were very, very strong on it. And my take is, I think Kick's we gotta tee up in some ways, in my opinion. No app. We came on. I'll never forget. We came on with no app. We came. We saw. Basically, it was just hella bugs the first day, but we made it work. And again, I still think Kick has been built from the ground up, and it's made it come so far that I wouldn't like to. I just wouldn't want to see Kick basically tumble to the ground. Right.
First and foremost, I agree with everything, but secondary, I think Kick's here to stay. The live streaming industry and going up against someone so well established and so well respected, such as Twitch, it's hard. It's hard work. It ain't easy. It's not as easy as we ever thought. I'd say it's been a humbling experience for me personally. But on that same note, I don't think anything would ever stop us from getting in the way of giving this a red hot crack. It's such a rewarding industry. Me personally, I do one stream a week or whatever, but just being involved in the industry, getting close to whether it's creators like yourself or smaller creators who are up and coming, it's actually pretty epic. So, in whatever capacity, Kick will always exist. That's something I'm not worried about. Can Kick be better? Can it be bigger? Can it be giving the big players, YouTube and Twitch, a better run for their money? Of course it can.
And again, I want to make it very clear. I think everyone can admit it. Like, this is not another Mixer situation. I think what Kick's done in the past 2 years, no other platform could have done it, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, if you think about like when this thing started up and you think about how long it took like other platforms like YouTube streaming and Twitch streaming, how long it took them to really get to where at, like, it takes a long time, It does. And I'm very aware of that as well. I think people also have to understand, like, everything nowadays is kind of like, everyone's like, oh, well, fuck, like this one's doing this good, but you got to look like what was the start date on these two, what's the difference on the date? So people don't give that credit as much, the flowers. Look, I think that Kick is here to stay too. I just think that like little things, like I think the little things matter the most. And what I mean is when little things aren't basically happening, it becomes an issue. And I think that creates bigger problems on the platform. So a streamer like your age, he came on and he was asking for like one thing. He wanted channel points and he wanted, voting or polls, right? The right vote poll system. He's the type of person that it involves the community, like all these reactions and all these types of things. And I just know that he made it very, very very clear that he needed that feature in order for his chat to kind of be engaged. He wanted that feature. So that's an example that I could just think of off the top of my head. I can name more, but it's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to show you guys like the small change could do so much for the platform. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Obviously it's not too far off being worked on. A few sort of hiccups in the road when it came to some of the development roadmaps, which have been frustrating, right? Frustrating for people like your age, incredibly frustrating for people like your age. But same note, incredibly frustrating for the people here working at Kick as well. We wish we'd have this out earlier. There's certain aspects to the development timeline which has been pushed back a bit, but are we working on it? Of course. Will it come out soon? Of course. Once you do have, say, all those small things which are so important when they combine together, when all those small things are in place, you know, the fundamentals of what's in place in terms of the platform, the mentality the platform has, the mentality of how we're operating it. You know, I think that's going to position Kick in an incredibly strong way. Would you agree?
I do. I think if you guys have the best of the best products, and I think if you guys have the best of the best features, you guys will be able to be, you know, in a better place for sure. 100%. 100%. So then tell us, Ed, tell the world, when's this new product coming out? What are we thinking? What you want to, what are you thinking? Leak some shit, bro. Go ahead.
I can't leak. The thing is, dates. I can't give dates out anymore. You know, rather than saying like, hey, look, this is coming here, this is coming here, this is coming here. We're just like, all right, you know what? Rather than like setting timelines and then leaving us in a situation where we may have to rush something out and not have it up to par, we're kind of taking this quality approach. I think, you know, things are pretty close, right? In terms of, we're talking about, you know, whether it's channel points, whether we're talking about, you know, variations to sort of bits or kicks as we call them, whether we call it, you know, the new application, which I know is incredibly overdue. Stuff's all, you know, very much moving. Date wise, couldn't say, but is it close? Fuck yeah, very close.
There's a different nuance I want to add to this, because what I'm hearing Adin say also is when guys like your age talk, they need to be listened to, right? Or communicated with. I want channel points. Where on the priority list are we putting that when we're talking about that, right? And then communicating that back. We got a couple devs in our chat right now. They're hearing this, right? They're hearing this in real time, which is fantastic. You got our team who's in here right now, who's taking this dead serious when they hear Adin Ross is coming on. So I think another nuance to this is that not just like delivering on the product, but like when our partners at that level start to speak, like what is our communication back with you guys? That way you guys don't feel like I'm just not being listened to. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And again, like, you know, the fact that devs are hearing everything and they're trying to just basically push it all on one update, like, I get it. At the end of the day, that's what, you know, live streaming is. We're here to talk to the chat and they're gonna just talk to us, and you know, that's kind of what the whole live streaming thing is, right? So
you've been doing it a while now, right? Like 5 years, 6 years? Like what truly motivates you? Like what genuinely motivates you when it comes to streaming? Like what actually makes you go like, hey, I want to do better? Like what gets you fired up?
Obviously money was my motive for a very long time, but I think now that I've realized that like no matter what, my family's good and I'm good, I look at it as like unlocking. For example, the stream that I'm hopefully doing, you know, this week, I think it's new, it's fairly new. I can find stuff that I genuinely enjoy and I genuinely love and I run with it, and I can be consistent and I can do what I want to do. There's one thing that fucks me up every time that I'm doing great. And no motherfuckers, it's not lean. It's when I gamble and lose a lot of fucking money. When I gamble, it gets to me. Like it really does. But I realize money is not my motive anymore. It's kind of just like seeing what other people are doing, seeing what other people in my space are doing, and be like, oh shit. So how do I do that in my own way, and how do I make something new out of it? At the end of the day, bro, I have to either find something like a goal or a motive, or I'm gonna be stuck in a fucking position where I'm like not doing shit. Which honestly, right now is kind of what I'm on. I'm ready to get back ASAP. Me not streaming makes me want to go live because I'm seeing all the other motherfuckers having fun. It's like that SpongeBob SquarePants meme where it shows him tucked away in the house and they're having fun outside. That's how I feel right now.
I watch a lot of people who are taking your format, but when I see other creators and other platforms doing things, I was like, shit, this guy was having like one-on-one basketball with Chris Brown like years ago, man. Like, so when you see people like blatantly rip off your format, like how does that make you feel? Where does your head go from there, you know?
I wouldn't say it's ripping off. I would say it's more everyone kind of bouncing off each other's ideas. I mean, like, look, everybody at this, we're creators. We have to figure out, you know, what works. And I think what works is when you cross over with celebrities and all these people who have their fan bases, and then their fan base makes your fan base, and then they boom, explode and have babies and have clips everywhere. That's the whole idea of it. It makes the space bigger. And honestly, like the one person again that I kind of bit off of too is Rice. Like Rice is the OG. If you're looking at somebody who's, you know, crossing over with these people, that people, this people, he did it in a way where it wasn't big at the time, but Ricegum is like the ultimate OG.
How do you keep from like media corporations totally tainting that vibe?
Well, look, like I said, I think like at the end of the day, it's if people want to get together for a cause, like you could look. I'd give an example. When I did something with Cardi, I paid for it, right? I paid for it. When me and Eddie had that conversation, it made sense. It made kick number one. It fucking went everywhere. It blew up everywhere. And Cardi would never hop on the fucking stream with me for free. Let's be real. He wouldn't have done it. So if it makes sense business-wise for people to collaborate with brands, and fuck it.
Hey, you still owe me that money for getting scammed by Cardi. You gonna pay me that back?
Fuck no. Come get it in blood.
fucking
I'm
scam,
kidding.
man.
I'm sorry, bro. But look, check this out though. To go back on that, like, we're streamers at the end of the day, bro. It's like if we were at one point just in our mom or dad's crib playing video games or doing streams to now doing fucking DraftKings ads with I don't know, whatever the celebrity is. That's awesome. They're getting their money. They're meeting these people. They're making the content bigger. Fuck you. Let them do it. Because now streaming is getting so mainstream that it's becoming a corporate entertainment business. That's a problem that I struggle with, though. I could try to clean up for some brands, but then I'll see something that I want to speak my mind on. I'm like, all right, I can't anymore. I got to fucking say some shit about this. But to go back to what you're saying, I think brand deal or not, collaborating is just making the whole space bigger and everything bigger. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy though. Yeah. Like you mentioned, like with all these corporate brands getting involved, I think live streaming is on the up and up, right? Like it's just continuing to break barriers. You know, you've done this for like 5 odd years, right? And you've kind of like almost like somewhat like grown up with your community, right? Like how old were you when you were streaming? When you started, like 17?
I first started streaming when I was like 16. Didn't work out. And then I started streaming like when I was like 18-ish. Yeah, 18,
but you kind of blew up just as you like, you know, quote unquote became an adult, right? Like your community, those people who were there from the get-go have seen you kind of like, you know, go through these early sort of ages of entering that kind of real world. You know, throughout this journey, you as you kind of alluded to, like, you know, you got to be careful what you say and stuff. If there's anything you could change, like if you go back like these few years, like in terms of how you've gone about things, in terms of how you've executed on it, like is there any regrets at all, or has it just been like, fuck it?
The saddest thing I realized about being having a big heart in my space is that it's very hard to find someone genuine. I think in the beginning I wanted to be best friends with everybody. One thing I can say is I wish I enjoyed my come up more. You get those rewards and you gain the rewards and you're actually getting to like feel it again and see it again. So that, and I think number 2, just maybe not trusting everybody. I feel like, like I said, there's not a lot of genuine people. And I'll be real, I'm not genuine to a lot of people. That's just how the space works. It's a fucking business at the end of the day. There's genuine relationships I have in this business, and then there's not. But most of them are fucking ingenuine. Most people in my life right now would not be friends with me if I didn't have my name and my money. It's just the truth, and that's okay. Keep your close ones close and your family close. It's like number 1, you know?
Talking about that come up, right? Like I guess it was pretty full on. It was pretty quick, right? Like as what 18, 19 years old, like kind of having to very quickly learn a whole bunch of life lessons that people typically, you know, figure out over the course of like 20 odd years. Naturally probably attract some incredible people, but some pretty bad ones as well. So I'm sure you've seen a bit.
My turn?
Aiden wants to jump. He wants to jump in.
Go for it. You got some questions?
I do. This one's for Santana. It's a 2-parter. What happened to your mustache?
I shaved it after Stockholm, man. Honestly, man, that thing was a son of a bitch. I could not eat Thanksgiving dinner with that bullshit on my face.
We'll get straight down to it, bro, because I'm here to just speak, bro. I don't give a fuck who's watching. I don't care. Santana, I heard you don't like me, bro. Why don't you like me?
Your intel's flawed, sir. I love you, man.
Come on, bro. Tell me what. You gotta keep it a beat with me, bro. We're on live. Come on, bro. We don't gotta do the PR shit.
I'm keeping it 100 with you, man. I think what you did with Trump fucking flipped the game, man. And I tweeted out about it.
Thank you.
In fact, I was one of the only few people in the industry that tweeted out about it, like directly. Let me tell you something else. Where I was before, there was no way I was tweeting out about that, man. Not only did I tweet it out, I put it out on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn's an entirely different game, man. The day that you did it, the day after, man, on LinkedIn, I said, this guy squarely handed Fox, CNN, all the big boys their ass. Listen, man, I don't know where you're getting your intel. It might be from a couple people that might have been let go internally that might have a beef. But I'm letting you know, man, I'm on the fucking Adin train 100%.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, you said it publicly, so you cleared it up. That's good.
Not only that, man, like, look, from the jump, because I was over on the other side too, right? And the other side's got their favorites. The only reason I lasted at Amazon for as long as I did is because I just had good ideas. That was it. But I was a black sheep in those hallways, man. I never understood why we had a TOS that forced the average age of a streamer is 33 right now. I never understood why we had a TOS that forced people to act like 14-year-olds. If we just loosened up our TOS, we could own the media space, not just live streaming. And then that's one thing that I told Eddie and Bijan when I came over. I said, I think we could be the Las Vegas of the internet if we just let people act like adults.
I think having an American or Canadian or something type of moderation team is what we need right now, bro. Like when we first started Kick, it was one of these things where it's like, we're trying to basically give people a less strict Twitch in the beginning. And I think we've lost that. Kick is more harsh than Twitch's TOS. Maybe if we could just find a way to develop a better moderation system, it could really do a lot. It could really help.